All right, hey guys. So gonna try and make this quick because I have a busy day ahead of me. I also have a lot of articles to write for Armchair Sports. Um, OL Reign plays the Portland Thorns tonight, and there's also Orlando Pride playing tomorrow, and then VfL Wolfsburg also playing tomorrow as well. And yeah, and then I had to prepare for the international break, which is next week too. I'm not sure if I'll be able to watch the England women's national team or Germany's women's national team. Um, yeah, it's the UEFA Nations League, and I still don't know where if I'll be able to watch that. The U.S. women's national team, yes, I will be able to watch that and cover that as well. So yeah, it's kind of next week is going to be a pretty busy week in women's soccer, and also this weekend too. Anyway, so what's going on in women's soccer? A lot. So starting off, the U.S. women's national team, they released their roster. It looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing Mia Fishel. I'm looking forward to seeing Ashley Hatch. I wanted to see Ashley Hatch in the World Cup roster. She was one of the players that I thought would get called up to the U.S. women's national team for the World Cup. And I was very surprised when she wasn't on the roster. Then again, when it came to Vlatko, he didn't really manage Ashley Hatch. Like before, he kept saying that he wanted to work on her chemistry with, I think, Alex Morgan, Sophia Smith, so on and so forth. But he never followed through with that. So I'm hoping with the new, well, I don't want to say like she's going to be the permanent U.S. national team head coach, but I'm hoping Twila Kilgore will be able to, I don't know, incorporate Hatch a little bit more. It's also gonna be interesting to see what she does with Mia Fishel. When it comes to Mia Fishel, I don't really know much about her. I've just seen like compilations of her scoring in the Liga MX Femenil. At the same time, I've also seen that she's gotten like some awards as well. And she's also been signed by Chelsea, so that's going to be very interesting to see. I also forgot to mention when I was covering the U.S. roster, Kat Macario is at Chelsea too. So that's going to be interesting to see how they fit into Chelsea's attack. Chelsea in general has like a pretty strong attack. And if we can get those two, Mia Fishel and Kat Macario, to play together often, it could potentially benefit the U.S. if Kat Macario gets selected to the national team. I think Kat Macario will get called up again. Twila Kilgore kind of just said that she wants to see how Macario does at Chelsea, because if you guys remember, Macario was out for some time due to an ACL injury, and she didn't really get to play much. I don't think she played at all with Lyon last season. So hopefully we can see her in Chelsea's games. So staying on the topic of national teams, Germany released their roster this week too. Yeah, I don't know what exactly is going on with the German women's national team. I don't know what's going on with the DFB. So Martina Voss-Tecklenburg, she has pulled out of coaching for the UEFA Nations League, mainly due to health reasons or an illness. They didn't really specify like what's going on with her health-wise. Honestly, though, I hope she's okay. But they said that after she recovers, she may not return to the German women's national team. And players have expressed that they don't want Martina Voss-Tecklenburg to come back. From a health perspective, if she is really sick or if she is really ill, she probably shouldn't return to coaching the national team. It could just put more stress on her and her body, and it could make her illness or her health even worse. So I don't think she should return, but at the same time, the players also said they don't want her to return. I find that interesting because I wrote a really big article and I did a video about Germany's downfall in the World Cup. And I did a small section about like what happened after. And in one of the articles I read, it sounded like the players wanted to work with Martina Voss-Tecklenburg and the coaching staff. Like, you know, they wanted to work together a lot more. But now it's a few weeks later, and some of the players are saying that they don't want her to return to the national team. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the DFB does. I'm not sure if a new coach has been assigned to the women's national team. We'll have to see. Maybe they have been named, but I didn't, or I missed a memo, or I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with Germany in the UEFA Nations League. Hopefully they'll do a lot better. There is a lot of talented players on the German national team, but they just need a really good coach to help them along. All right, so staying on the topic of national teams, this is probably going to be a national team video. Montserrat Tomé, the new head coach for the Spanish women's national team, wanted to release her roster yesterday, Friday, September 15th, but she ended up not being able to do that because the players made it clear that they're not returning to the Spain women's national team, or they're not returning to the national team because not enough structural changes have been made. So yeah, there's that. That's going to be very interesting to see in the next couple days. So yeah, Montserrat Tomé, she couldn't release the roster. She probably is like throwing her hands up, like, what do I do in this situation? Like, but that was the thing. I think I talked about it in my last weekend video. Like, what's the plan now? Like, what's the plan now that all the players are basically saying, we're not coming back? Like, who are they going to call up? And the thing is, they're not going to be able to call up anyone, especially when all the World Cup champions, the ones that won the World Cup, don't want to come back. There is one player who did, I forgot her last name. I do know she plays for Real Madrid. Athenia. She said in her letter, she ended up not signing the same statement that her teammates signed. She said that she supports Jenny Hermoso, but she is going to return to the national team. I don't think that's how it works. You can't say that you support your teammate, but then your actions show the opposite of what you're doing. So yeah, a lot of fans were very upset at Athenia. But at least it's just her and not like the rest, and not like everyone else. Because last year when, the players went on strike and said that they weren't returning to the national team, half the players, I think mainly from Real Madrid, returned to the Spain national team, and the strike ended up not working out. But this time, it's good to see that most of the Spanish players are united, and I'm hoping that they do. I hope there are changes. I hope changes are made, especially since like most of the players, almost the World Cup champions, there's a fly somewhere, they said that they don't want to come back. But yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. Anyway, let's move on to some funnier news. Yesterday, September 15th, Friday, the Frauen Bundesliga regular season kicked off. There was only one game. It was Bayern Munich against SC Freiburg. And, I originally thought Bayern Munich was going to beat SC Freiburg. And they did. They did eventually. Or it looked like they were going to win. In the final few minutes, Bayern was able to get a second goal, making the scoreline 2-1. But then in additional time, SC Freiburg came back and drew 2-2. And so the match ended 2-2. The points are shared, and Bayern fans were pissed off. Yeah, and it gets even funnier because the Bayern Munich players were playing in a pale green kit. It was their Oktoberfest kit. And I saw some Bayern fans, like some of my friends, like blaming the kits. They were saying like, it's the kits, that's why we lost, it's green. And also to some extent blaming Wolfsburg. And it's like, what did we do? You guys picked out a green kit. It's not too bad. It looks pretty nice. It's a nice looking kit, but I'm not really a fan. I think I prefer Bayern's Oktoberfest kit last season. But yeah, that was kind of funny. But it gets even funnier because after the women played, it was the Bayern Munich men's turn. They had a match against Bayer Leverkusen. And guess what happened? The men's team drew 2-2 to Bayer Leverkusen. And so we have the women's team drawing 2-2 and the men's team drawing 2-2. And a lot of Bayern fans were saying it's the kits. And then, I started to think about it more and I was like, yeah, it's probably the kits. Maybe you guys shouldn't wear green. There's also the fact that if you want to blame Wolfsburg, I guess, go ahead. But the thing is, maybe green is just cursed. Also, here's another thing. Wolfsburg isn't the only green team in the Bundesliga or in the Frauen Bundesliga. There's also Werder Bremen. I think you guys are forgetting that. But maybe it is the kits. Because here's the thing, when it comes to Wolfsburg, we have great attacking players, but let's be honest, the back line is crap. Like, it's so frustrating to watch Wolfsburg, especially when it comes to their back line and defense. And, they were saying when it came to the match between Bayern Munich and SC Freiburg, the Bayern back line was falling apart, which is somewhat reminiscent of Wolfsburg to some extent. Yeah, maybe. So I guess the saying is, wear green for the attack, but don't hold out much hope for the defense. I'm actually hoping like Wolfsburg's defense gets better this season. It's still too early to tell, but yeah, I did think that was really funny of the Bayern fans blaming the kids. I mean, it seems likely, maybe. Like the women's team drawing 2-2, the men's team drawing 2-2, and they're wearing a green kit. Yeah, maybe green is just not your color. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today or tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.